Hi y'all. Believe it or not, it's time for another challenge update vlog. This will be the 8th vlog we've done this year, and I can't believe what all's been going on. Weeds are taking over and plenty of vegetables are growing, so come on and see what's growing in the garden. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I've been doing some weeding. It was a really big mess over here, and now I can see all the raspberries that need to be propagated here in the walkway, so I'll be taking care of that. Been doing some weeding. There's a very large ant bed there I have to take care of before I can plant anything, and I do have some walking onions over here, thank goodness, so I'll be glad to see that. I'll be removing that rosemary there this year. Here's all the weeds that I got from this area. And the sweet potato bed has just gone crazy. It is just really gone crazy. Alright, here are the berries. The blackberries, they are still loaded with berries. They are so juicy and sweet. Delicious berries. There's two that do seem to be doing better than the other two. So I don't know why, but this variety here is not doing as good. Oops. Not doing as good as the other variety. Okay. And this one is just really thriving. The Natchez is not doing as good as the Navajo, so... And as you can see, this one here is kind of dying back. I was not happy to see that, but it still has berries on it. And again, this is the Natchez. And this one here is the Navajo. So I may end up getting rid of those Natchez since they're doing so bad, or putting those out with the chickens. So I'll make a decision on what to do with those. And here again are some blackberries. They're the thornless variety. I'm thinking that they're going to be the Navajo blackberry. And again, the sweet potatoes are just everywhere. And so are the weeds. Okay. And my Malabar spinach is doing really nicely. It's beautiful. These are seeds that self-sowed. So it's nice to see those come back in this area. Okay, again, I've been trying to do some weeding, maintenance in the garden. I've got some beautiful straight neck squash here, loaded with blooms. And I do have one squash in there. So, yay. Alright, and then we have that the bean bed that I tried to sow twice. No beans are growing, but plenty of weeds, and the Japanese purple mustard has self-sown itself again. So we'll be harvesting the mustard, and I'm going to be weeding these beds. Getting rid of that grass and those weeds that are about to go to seed, and mulching over. I can't believe how many weeds have grown up in that. That is just ridiculous. That's all weeds. Well, not all, but mostly weeds. The purple is the mustard. But those are all weeds. It's ridiculous. Things take over. We have been getting some rain. Blueberries are looking really good. Good morning. Good morning, Cleo. Alright, so the corn has been just about picked. Okay, and I'm not sure if I like the squash growing in the corn or not. Simply because I can't see what's going on with the squash to maintenance it or make sure that it's getting pollinated. I've not seen any fruit, any female flowers, and the ducks apparently love the squash leaves because they've kept that side picked off. Okay, and these lima beans are just out of control with growth. They are absolutely filling up this trellis. Has nice blooms on it. Even has some beans growing. So we're going to have lima beans. And again, here is the way the squash is growing up into the corn. I do have one, let's see if I can find it. I do have one female squash bloom in there. Again, this is the sweet meat. Never grown it before, so we do have one bloom though that I can see because it's on the outside. Strawberries are doing good. Have gotten some bugs on them, and I still don't know what this guy is. It just keeps growing. There's no blooms on there showing any flowering or anything. So I was hoping to be able to tell what it was. Again, here is the blackberries that are growing crazy. And over here with the strawberries and the kale and the unknown plant, I did sow some of those radish seeds, and we do have some radishes mixed in with the weeds. So it's nice to see we have some radishes. The family likes roasted radishes. Okay, so we do have some red beans that survived the rabbit getting in the garden. Those are red beans. And the raspberries here are looking a little rough. They have looked better. So I think some of the raspberry stalks are ready to be done for this year. Alright, here we have some more Malabar spinach. Okay, and another one. And of course, all the weeds. I have really got to get over there and get that grass. It is just taken over. It's just terrible. 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 That is horrendous. But I'm hoping to be able to get some maintenance done, gain control. Along this fence here, we have some peppers and some Malabar spinach. The ducks tend to keep it cut back, so that was not the best idea in the world. And I put this elephant ear here in the garden to kind of create some shade over here for the ducks. I'm going to be working on that pen. So much going on. Can't get it all done. It's taking over, as you see. It is just terrible. So, a lot of work needs to be done. A lot of weeding. Alright, so that's this area. Let's take a look at the new area, guys. Okay, so this area is the new area. These here are our cow horn peppers, okay, amongst the weeds. Okay, so we do have things growing along the walkway here. Alright. Okay, so here we are out where the bananas are. Alright, this Cavendish. Let's look at the Cavendish. This thing is looking really good. It has a pup down there. That's nice to see. So this is doing really well. This is the Cavendish banana. Alright. So I'm a little concerned about the tayberries. I'm not seeing any green down in there. But I'm hoping for good things. There's no green at all. I'm going to be devastated if I lose these. We have some orange glow watermelon growing. This is nice to see. Glad for watermelon. They say it's not too late here, so we're going to see. And here we have, ouch, it was a thorn. Here we have some green. So we still have some green on this one. So I'm hoping the tayberry makes it. Alright, so here is a pomegranate that I thought I killed. So we planted it out here. Okay, so it's still living. This is a pomegranate. And over here is another pomegranate. As you can see, this one as well I thought I killed. But there is some nice growth down here. So, even if we have to turn this thing into a bush, so be it. But I'm hoping it survives. Alright, this guy right here, the ice cream banana, I was extremely worried about. We had several days of rain, and as you can see, here's a picture. It was definitely flooded. It was standing in water. But apparently, it needed the extra water because it is really looking good. So, and there's no water standing anymore. So it's looking good. Alright. And the pineapples, guys, they're looking good. They started turning really yellow. I was worried about them. See this one here? It's turning really yellow, so I think it just went through a lot of shock, but the centers are green. So I'm happy to see that. So I think that they've gone through the shock, and now that they're just gonna start really doing good. Okay, guys, so we're gonna take and walk over into this other area over by the mulch. We've never went over there before, so let's go over there and see. I've got some things planted over there now. So let's go over there and check it out. So, excuse my shoes, they're soaked. Alright. So everything's, like I said, everything is just progress. Work in progress, so. Alright. So here's a area that we cleaned up and mulched. We do have some weeds growing through. I will come out here and deal with that before it gets out of control. Alright, so this is where we planted several citrus trees. Alright, and they are doing really well. Alright, this is a lime. Okay, and this one is a pink variegated lemon. It's doing really good. Alright, and here is a Meyer lemon. And there is one right over there across the way here. Okay, so we have two Meyer lemons. Alright, and then we have a Sweet Frost tangerine. And then we have a tangerine over here that the name wasn't known. So, but it's got a nice size tangerine on there. It is looking really good. It's the only tangerine we have. Okay, so this whole area has been mulched and planted with citrus trees. Okay. And as you can see, we have a lot of cleanup. We still have a few rolls of mulch left. I'm hoping to be able to get what I need out of it to finish the job I want to get done this year, and be able to get some for next year. So, alright, so over here we have planted some pear trees, guys. This is an air pear, okay, and as you can see, these here I about killed in the pot. But they do still, this one here has some green on it still. I've not been out here yet this morning, so it's nice to see that there is still some green on this tree, okay? And here is a pineapple pear. Again, these were in the pots for a few years, but they do, this one here has some green still, so thank goodness. And as you can see, we don't have this area mulched yet. I did mulch this tree over here because it was in the worst shape. And let's go check it out. Oh, look. It has some green on it. So that's nice to see. Because this thing was completely brown. Alright. So, yay. That is also a pineapple pear. So that's nice to see that it has some new growth on it. Look here. Oh, yay. Because I thought this guy was dead. So that's nice to see that. Alright, guys. So up here is where we usually are. Okay, so we've put some trees out here. I'm happy to have that in place. And there is a few trees out here that I will be digging up and moving on the outside of the fence, like this one here. Okay, see, there's one I'll be digging up. Okay, so there's a few trees out here, small trees that I can dig up and move for shade. Alright, so here is a plum tree. I think it's a Santa Rosa. It doesn't have a tag, but I think it's a Santa Rosa. And as you can see, it is looking really rough. Again, this one was in the pot as well. And the summer heat and the dryness, I just could not keep the water in it. I'm hoping this one will come back as well. Okay, it is pretty brown. But I'm hoping it'll come back. This area here, I want to put 2 trees here. Okay, but that whole area needs to be tilled, so that project's put on pause until I can have a little bit cooler weather. It's just so hot right now, it's hard to get anything really done without feeling like you're dying of a heat stroke or pouring sweat. It's just been so hot this year everywhere. So we're going to walk over to the corn and to the tomatoes and peppers. Okay, all this cleanup has to be done. It's a ridiculous amount of cleanup, but I want to expand. All right, here we are. Okay, so let's take a look where we came from on the other side of that mulch hay there. Okay, so we have gotten some things done. We're going to walk through here to the corn and tomatoes. Those are looking really good. That corn is looking fantastic. Again, I planted 4 rows of corn. We do have some wild trees growing up in here again. If I'm not mistaken, that's a persimmon. I could be wrong, but I got to try to dig those up the best I can. Corn is looking good. Let's go over here and look at these tomatoes. Alright, these tomatoes I'm doing an experiment with. This one here died back. It does have some new growth, so I'm leaving it alone and going to let it grow. Alright, so we did lose another one too. This is 2 different varieties. I am doing a tomato experiment on these to see how well they do. See, here's the other one that died. So, I did lose 2 plants, but I still have 10 more, so. But this is the bed we're doing the experiment on. And I'll link the video to growing these the way I'll be growing them without a trellis. Alright, so here are the potatoes that I planted. And a stick has fallen, I see. But here are the potatoes I've planted. Alright, and there are some more tomatoes. We are loaded with tomatoes on a few plants. I've been heavily pruning them. This one here got broke. But they are just loaded. These are Roma tomatoes. And it has a sweet basil there planted in the middle of them. Sweet basil is looking beautiful. Alright, and we do have some ripening on there. They're getting ripe finally. Dave has been so waiting for those ripe tomatoes. Alright. And we do have plenty of jalapenos. Plenty of jalapenos growing. Okay. Beautiful. They're loaded. And there's a cucumber. I'm growing it up this new trellis I'm trying out this year. Okay. So I am trying it on a different type of trellis. Alright, more peppers. More jalapenos. And the burgundy okra is doing fantastic. And I did leave this okra here. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did show it, and it was loaded with aphids. I just left it because it's a trap crop for certain insects, and I've not had aphids anywhere else, so leaving that was a positive. Alright, so here are some more tomatoes. Again, these are some nice looking tomatoes. Alright, so we have some ripening. Okay, so I did want to take a second and show you that I know I've been doing heavy pruning, but I did leave it to branch off there so I'd have more fruit, because now I have fruit on both branches. But I waited till it got up on the trellis pretty decently, and I do know that I'm probably going to run out of trellis room because it is almost to the top of these trellises, to the trellis here. See? It is just growing crazy this year. So the tomatoes are looking really good. And again, I have picked a couple of tomatoes that were getting split, so we didn't lose them. And we had fried green tomatoes. Them things were delicious. Alright, and then we have some purple basil. I've not been able to see what's eating my purple basil, but I keep checking and I keep pruning it, and it's looking good. So there's another tomato. Okay, so the elderberries are really struggling. I need to get these out of the pots. In my opinion, they never are in a good soil when they are in these pots. So really need to get these out because they are definitely suffering. So, but they still have the berries. I've not lost the berries. So, alright, so our hot banana peppers have really been struggling. I don't know what the issue is, but they've really been struggling. So I'm not sure. This is new to me. So I've not seen this before. Maybe it's the type of pepper. So we're going to have to look into this. But this plant is doing really well. It does have some yellowing leaves at the bottom, but it does still have lots of fruit left on. Alright, so this spaghetti squash is just really taking off. I've not seen any female flowers yet, but I'm hoping for big things, and of course weeds. Alright, here's another spaghetti squash. This is a spaghetti squash, guys. And then these over here are butternut squash. I do have a little squash there. I hope that bloom got pollinated. Here's another one. Alright. So, and we have more. Let's see. So we have some female flowers on the butternut squash. Alright, the eggplant's doing really good. These have the flea beetles on them. I've kind of just left them be. They're not really doing any harm to the fruit too much. So that way, this is another trap crop for flea beetles. So, and I've not seen them too much on anything else. So, I think that leaving certain pests alone seems to be working in my favor. Right now, anyways. And I have put in place some more tomatoes here. Okay, to go up this trellis. They're not looking too bad. These are a cherry tomato. I can't remember the variety. This one here looks the best. It's a beautiful plant. Here is 2 tomatoes that got lost in the weeds. So I believe I'm going to try to plant them later on today and see if they'll survive. So that is the tour of the garden today. I know it's quite a bit lengthy. There's a little bit more in here every time we look. So let's go take a look at those chickens. Alright guys, so we're here at the chickens, and as you can see, not a whole lot's been happening. I have been trying to get out there and get a little bit of weeding done, but I'm not going to lie, it's been a little bit of a task to get that done. A lot's been going on, and we've been having some rain, and it has just been ridiculous with the growing of the weeds, okay? But as you can see, the chickens have been doing a lot of scratching in there, so that's a good thing. Okay, and I have weeded over here. There's a pile of weeds to try to keep it down. I'm going to get some mulch out here. Okay, so I have been doing something. It's just not a lot that's noticeable. Okay, and in here, again, is the pen. And I still have got to get those briars out of the net there. They are just going crazy in that net. So that's got to be dealt with. So let's check on Miss Frizzle and see how she's doing. Hey, Miss Frizz. Hey, pretty girl. Alright, so Dave and I has about decided that she is not going to get any more feathers. I was thinking maybe I needed a chicken sweater for her bum for the winter. I'm just devastated about that. Really disappointed that she will not have her feathers. They're just not wanting to grow. Hey, Miss Frizz. Hey, pretty girl. But I don't think those feathers are ever going to come back, unfortunately. If they do, we'll be surprised at this point. we've been watching, and she's just not gaining any more feathers than what she's already gotten. So, don't know how we're going to deal with that, but we'll figure it out before winter. Alright guys, thanks for joining me for this update, and I know not a lot's gotten done, but a lot's gotten done. The heat has just been horrible, and it's hard to get anything done with the heat that has been there. But we're going to keep trying and doing the best we can to get things done before the heat comes in. So, y'all keep growing, and until next time, happy homesteading.